Hello everyone! Today I want to show you one of my latest fountain pens, one with which I share a personal connection. Here is the Narwhal Nautilus Dracula, which was recently released, in this case with a double broad nib. Released around Halloween with a very special box, it is a version of the regular Nautilus, made from titanium and with these super cool fangs, which incidentally serve as ink windows. So, Dracula. That is quite the inspiration, and I am proud of Narwhal for choosing this theme. I come from Romania, the actual country that inspired the legend of Dracula, and I am glad to see it represented in the world of fountain pens. The legend of Dracula was inspired by a ruler of our country known as Vlad the Impaler. He was known for cruel acts and mainly for the impalement, his favorite method of execution. Naturally, Bram Stoker used him as inspiration to create the famous literary vampire, Count Dracula. I love many different types of fountain pens, but the titanium ones seem to hold a special place in my heart. And ever since I saw this fountain pen, I knew that it would be something I would enjoy. I had a bit of hesitation in choosing the nib, as I only tested the broad nibs from Narwhal before, but the double broad is excellent, definitely as advertised, a smooth writer. Before I move on to the box, I want to remind you to subscribe to my channel. This does not take more than a couple of seconds, but it helps me create more useful content for you. At the same time, we are growing a community of fountain pen lovers together, and that makes me so happy. So, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell as well, so that you can keep up to date with my latest videos. As always, comments are welcomed and much appreciated. I just love hearing from you, and I will gladly answer any questions you might have. Okay, enough talking, let's get to business. I first saw the ad for this fountain pen on Instagram, and it was so amazing. The box in which this fountain pen came is a brilliant concept, as you can see. And even though I'm an adult, I cannot stop smiling. It is such a fun thing to have. Talk about a dramatic presentation box shaped like a coffin and definitely matching the gothic theme. And the best part about it is this. So here is the fountain pen in his little coffin, and when you make like this, magic happens. This is quite nice. Let's see what we have here as well. This is the warranty card and a few instructions on how to use the fountain pen correctly. Nothing complicated, but as I said, the box is just spectacular. And let me show you once again. Dracula certainly has risen. Okay, time to check out the features of the pen. The Narwhal Dracula is done in the style of the Nautilus, which has become a trademark of this brand. Let me show you my Nautilus so that you can see that the design is quite similar. This particular one has a titanium body with a silver finish, which is absolutely beautiful. We can notice silver accents on the clip, the ring, and the other ring at the bottom. And important, they only released 500 of these pens, so we are having a limited series. Mine is 275. And I have a feeling that they are going to be out of stock quite soon, because this is an excellent pen. Naturally, the most interesting part is this. We have these bloody fangs which serve as ink windows. Is this a brilliant concept or what? For me, it was the sleek metallic finish that did it. I think this fountain pen has a refined, modern look, which elevates Narwhal as a brand, at least in my opinion. They were clearly aiming for a dramatic impact, and I think they did an excellent job. The ink windows definitely stand out on the silver body, which somehow has an industrial feel at the same time. The finial is simple but slick, and at the bottom we also have a simple rounded part, nothing special. The pen is very well balanced, no issues in this area. Let's see the cap from up close. The cap design matches the rest of the body with the same aesthetics. In this case, the clip is perfectly aligned. I have had this issue with my Narwhal Nautilus. The only disappointment was the clip. In the case of this fountain pen, the clip is sturdy, quite flexible, and it stands out beautifully. Once again, here you can see the number. And inside the cap, we also have a plastic liner. Hopefully you can see it. This is meant to prevent the ink from drying out, and it also serves the purpose of protecting the nib from damage. One very important point to make: this is not a cap that can be posted. However, I think the fountain pen is long enough already, so there won't be any issues here. The body of the pen has a simple sleek finish as well. The threads are placed right here, which ensures a comfortable writing experience even with longer sessions. I love the ring that separates the body from the barrel. It is the perfect complement. Now let's come to the nib. I know that many people have complained that Narwhal nibs are not that great, but this is not my experience. The Narwhal Dracula has a number 6 stainless steel nib, which is in-house made, and let me tell you that it is an excellent writer. I have a double broad, and it writes exactly as it should, with broad, perfect strokes. I will show you the writing part in a moment. Let me rotate it a bit so that you can see it more. The nib has beautiful decorations, as well as the Narwhal logo, which was inspired by the Narwhal, the unicorn of the sea. From what I have read, the feed is custom ebonite. I cannot confirm it for certain. Perhaps you can let me know in the comments whether this is so or not. Aside from the double broad, you have other options such as extra fine, fine, medium, broad, and stub. The fountain pen is equipped with a piston, which means that you can use your preferred bottle ink. In order to fill up the pen, all you have to do is rotate the knob at the rear end of the barrel to draw ink in. Most important, do not force the knob, avoid excessive force, otherwise you might damage it. I will show you in a bit how to fill it up, but first I want to do a bit of measurement, weight and size comparison. So let's start with the measurement. It has around 15 centimeters with the cap on and a bit over 13 with the cap off. Time to test the weight. So it has almost 54 grams. Keep in mind that the pen is not inked at the moment. Without the cap, we have almost 35 grams. And the cap, almost 20 grams. So this is quite a hefty pen, but despite this, it is quite comfortable. I'm going to do first size comparison, and then we will weigh the pen with the ink inside so that we can see how much it holds. For today's writing test, I have chosen an ink that I really enjoy. This is called Writer's Blood from Diamine. And first I want to show you a swatch. This is a very cool ink, a deep burgundy with slightly purple undertones. Quite saturated and wet, perfect for my Narwhal Dracula. Let me show you from up close. Because this is a wet ink, the drying time tends to be longer. But I really love how elegant and rich it is. A perfect dark red for Dracula. Let me show you now how to fill your fountain pen. Okay, unscrew the rear blind cap until you feel a bit of resistance. As you can see, I am quite gentle, and now it's time to stop. Forcing it will damage the piston. Now all you have to do is immerse the fountain pen in the bottle of ink and screw it back on. The advantage of a piston filler is that it holds more ink than a regular cartridge or converter, since the entire barrel acts as a reservoir. That means fewer refills if you write a lot. So I promised I would show you how much ink it holds after being filled. So we are about 2 grams of ink, or maybe a bit less, something around that area, but let me tell you, it is enough to write for some time. Okay, time to see how it writes. As I said, I have a double broad. The double broad is a fountain pen nib that is white, which means it lays down a much thicker line than standard nibs like medium or broad. So this is Narwhal Dracula with a double broad nib. Also known as BB. Let me show you from up close. And just for comparison, I have my Narwhal Nautilus Bronze Corridoras. This has a broad nib, and I want to show you the difference. It is filled with the gray ink from Hongdian. So we have a broad nib in this case. Just so you can see the difference in the lines. I enjoy double broad nibs because they are very wet and lay down a lot of ink. They produce rounded strokes and are smoother because the tipping is larger. The nib actually feels buttery on paper, which is great. And such a nib will definitely allow you to show off the ink color. Let me try some straight lines as well. As I said, we have a very wet ink. There are no scratches, no feedback. This is quite one smooth nib. And maybe you are wondering about the price. I paid a bit over 200 euros for this fountain pen, and I find the price to be correct, as you are getting a titanium fountain pen, a limited edition, with an excellent nib, and overall, this is a great choice. So, to taste it a bit more, how about a few pros and cons? Let's start with the pros. We have to mention the premium materials and build. This is a titanium fountain pen with a sleek, modern finish, minimalist style. We have a number 6 stainless steel nib. Very important, this is in-house made with an ebonite feed, which improves the ink flow. Then we have the piston filling mechanism. This allows you to use any bottled ink you want, and it has a generous ink capacity. And we definitely have to mention the unique ink windows, the red fangs. And even though it might not be something that everyone is interested or sees as a strong point, I think the presentation box is definitely a strong point. Of course, not only because it is coffin shaped, but also because you can have this dramatic unboxing or display for collectors. We also have a smooth consistent. Sorry for my writing, it is not the best, but I'm making an effort. Ink flow. And this is a wet writer. For me, this is a strong point. I like nibs that lay down a lot of ink. And as you can see, you can also see the ink better with all its features, because it starts out so beautifully and then at some point you can see the dark red as an accent. I really think this is excellent. And as you can see, there is not so much bleed through. Let's see some cons. Pen is heavier and larger than other models, and though surprisingly comfortable. You can write with it for longer periods of time, and I can guarantee you won't find it tiring. But if you have smaller hands, perhaps its size and heftiness might be an issue. It all depends on your personal preference. Okay, the cap cannot be posted. This is not necessarily a cons, but I think it is worth mentioning. And some users have complained that the nib might be too stiff. Now, once again, this depends on your personal preference. I know that the Narwhal nibs are generally a bit stiff. For me, this is not an issue. I like writing with them, and this particular one, I think it is excellent. And perhaps the minimalist style might not be everyone's cup of tea. I really like it. I really like that they did not make an effort to add many elements, only these ink windows, which are quite nice. And the price might also be a bit high, but I think that given that you are receiving a pen made from titanium with a very functional piston filling mechanism and so many wonderful details, I think you are getting a good deal. And I think Narwhal has come a long way from the first pens they produced. I also have from them an Original Plus Citrian, and I like this pen a lot, but just looking at them and comparing them, and even with the Nautilus, you can see that they are constantly looking to improve themselves as a brand and create fountain pens that are better and better. And I am excited to see what they are coming with up next. So here we are at the end. I chose this fountain pen because I like the metallic sleek finish and these ink windows, which definitely match the whole Gothic aesthetics. If you want a pen that stands out, you've got it. From the dramatic presentation box to the ink windows, we have a pen that is quite unique. The double broad nib is wet and smooth. I really enjoy writing with it. The piston filling mechanism is easy to use and offers an excellent ink capacity. This fountain pen is a strong choice. If you have already purchased it, let me know what your own experience was like. What type of nib did you choose and how was it? I still have to see how it will stand the test of time. I haven't had it for so long, but I will definitely keep you up to date. That wraps up my review for the Narwhal Dracula Fountain Pen. If you are thirsty for more reviews, don't vanish into the night. Subscribe and join the coven for more fountain pen content. That's it for today. I'm heading to my bookshelf now to reread Dracula. And until next time, keep your pens inked.